Well begun is half done is one of my favorite false motivational statements. The other is, sometimes you have to jump off the cliff and grow your wings on the way down. I saw that one on a photo of a wolf, which was puzzling because in my limited understanding of the animal kingdom, no wolf has ever grown wings. Thank goodness they haven't. If wolves ever figure out the mechanics of flight, it's game over. We tend to put too much emphasis on beginnings. In doing so, we miss the single day that wrecks more goals than any other. For the first 41 years of my life, I didn't even hear anyone mention this day. I was as clueless as the fictitious people who still live at the beach where Jaws was filmed. There shouldn't have been a Jaws 2. That movie should have just been called A Bunch of Seaside Residents Moved to Ohio Where There Are No Sharks. That's probably not going to fit on a marquee, but at least they would have avoided another shark-related disaster. Despite all the work we put into planning our goals, despite the new sneakers and diets and business plans, we miss the day that matters most. The day that is why I'm not allowed to buy black beans at Costco anymore. The store will let me. It's not a management decision, although I do abuse those free samples. One day they were giving out Oreos for the 7 Americans who have never experienced that cookie. The conversation with the employee handing them out was awkward because I felt like I had to pretend I'd never heard of them. What do you call this? A chocolate cookie sandwich? No? The name is Oreo? Am I saying that correctly? How whimsical. The reason I can't buy black beans is that they only sell them in pallet quantity. You can't just buy one, you have to buy 1,000 cans. It's a lot of beans, but at least once a year, I believe I need this amount. While exercising, I decide to get serious. I remember that in Timothy Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Body, he recommends a simple breakfast of eggs, black beans, spinach, cumin, and salsa. When my family sees me rooting around the cupboard for black beans, they all groan, "Oh no, here we go again." They know that for the next 12 days in a row, I'm going to eat black beans. Why only 12? Because on day 13, I'm going to get too busy, have a meeting, or be on a business trip without my traveling beans. Upon missing one day, I will quit the whole endeavor. Once the streak is broken, I can't pick it back up. My record is no longer perfect, so I quit altogether. This is a surprisingly common reaction to mistakes. If you interview people about why they quit their goals, they all use similar language. I fell behind and couldn't get back on track. Life got in the way and my plans got derailed. The project jumped the tracks and got too messy to fix. The words might be different, but they're all saying the same thing. When it stopped being perfect, I stopped too. You missed one day of your diet and then decided the whole thing was dumb. You were too busy to write one morning, and so you put your unfinished book back on the shelf. You lost one receipt and then gave up on your entire budget for the month. I'm not picking on you for giving in to perfectionism. I've fallen into it many times as well. One February, I ran 75 miles. Then I ran 71 in March and 73 in April. Know how much I ran in May? 8 miles. Can you guess June's total? 3. Why? Because when my perfect exercise streak hit a roadblock, I stopped. This is the first lie that perfectionism tells you about goals. Quit if it isn't perfect. The genius in this first lie is subtle. It's not when it isn't perfect, because that hints at the reality that it won't be. No, perfectionism tells you if it isn't perfect, as if you have the chance to run the whole rack and go to the grave with 100% on your tombstone. This is troubling to us because we don't want B's and C's when we've got a goal. We want straight A's, especially if it's a goal we've thought about for any amount of time. We will gladly give up the whole thing when we discover some mistake or imperfection in our performance. More than that, we will even pre-quit before we've even begun. That's why a lot of people won't start a new goal. They'd rather get a 0 than a 50. They believe perfect is the only standard, and if they can't hit it, they won't even take the first step. A dreary sense of what's the use settles about them like a thick fog. I can't fail if I don't try. While researching this book, I asked 1,000 people in an online poll if they had ever refused to even write down an idea because they judged it as not good enough. I thought maybe I was the only one who had a perfectionism filter that sorted ideas before they were allowed to hit a piece of paper. More than 97% of the participants said they had done that. I don't know how to tell you this, but your goal will not be perfect. It crushes me to break this to you, but you will fail. Maybe a lot. Maybe right out of the gate. You might even trip over the starting line. That's okay. Why? Why would I encourage you to embrace imperfection? Well, for one thing, doing something imperfectly won't kill you. We think it will, which is why we compare our lack of progress to a train crash. I couldn't get back on track. My plans got derailed. A train derailment is a significant, serious accident. In many cases, people die. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage occurs, and fixing it takes days, if not weeks. Do you know what doesn't happen when you miss a day of your goal? Any of those things. No one dies. It doesn't require $400,000 to get back on track. Writing things doesn't take 4 weeks. Second, developing tolerance for imperfection is the key factor in turning chronic starters into consistent finishers. Chronic starters quit the day after perfect. What's the use? The streak is over. Better to wallow in the mistake. I ate a crazy dinner last night. Might as well eat a crazy breakfast, lunch, and dinner today too. Might as well is one of the most dangerous phrases in the English language. Or Polish, since for some reason my books tend to get translated into that language before Spanish. I am killing it in Krakow. Might as well is never applied to good things. It's never, might as well help all these orphans, or might as well plant something healthy in this community garden. It's usually the white flag of surrender. I've had a single French fry, might as well eat 1,000. These are the kind of things we say on the day after perfect, and that day is sticky. Do you know the biggest day for people to drop out of the 30 Days of Hustle goal-setting course? Most people guess day 23 or day 15, but that's not even close. Day 2 is when I see the largest drop-off. That's right. The biggest day for the most people to stop opening the emails that constitute the exercises is day 2. Why that day? Because imperfection doesn't take long to show up. You've sat at your desk on a Monday morning before and thought, it's 9 a.m. How am I already this far behind? How is the entire week already ruined? Imperfection is fast, and when it arrives, we usually quit. That's why the day after perfect is so important. This is the make or break day for every goal. This is the day after you skip the jog. This is the day after you failed to get up early. This is the day after you decided the serving size for a whole box of Krispy Kreme donuts is 1.